There are so many aircraft in War Thunder that do not have a place in the game, have not been added yet, or just haven't been brought to players' attention that Gaijin's decided to just not need it yet. So in this video, we're going to go over 3 of the most needed aircraft, in my opinion, for the United States. If you guys want to see more videos like this, let me know down below in the comments. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new here. So first up on the list is the EA-18G Growler. Now, I do want to immediately note that this seems like the most far-fetched aircraft on my list here, as this aircraft is the most advanced electronic warfare aircraft we have ever seen outside of the F-35. The EA-18G Growler is basically what happens when you take an FA-18F, completely clear out the insides, and give it the most advanced electronic warfare suit we've ever seen on any aircraft. So the Growler is an electronic warfare aircraft. This is the aircraft that replaced things like the EA-6, the Prowler, the Growler, all those aircraft, the Intruder, anything that had electronic warfare capabilities, it replaced that. And the aircraft itself, for at least in War Thunder, I think what would make it, in addition to War Thunder, would be to, 1, test electronic warfare. Obviously, they're probably going to do this with older platforms and not the Growler. But 2, the Growler's already technically modeled in the game. The FA-18F just got added recently, and that essentially is what the Growler is. Obviously, it's completely different in real life, but in-game, it'd be near identical. All they would need to do is actually decide what sort of jamming pods they want to add, what sort of electronic warfare capabilities they want to give it. Other than that, it would be a slightly heavier F-18F for the United States. Since the United States has yet to receive the Super Hornet F model, they just have the E. The Growler could be a really cool event or premium option if Gaijin wants to test the waters with these capabilities. And again, like I said prior, all of these things are very classified on the Growler, so they kind of have, they kind of either, 1, be able to pick and choose, or just kind of go with what they think, and it's not like players can really be too pissed off about it because it's all classified, so Gaijin really either needs to pull numbers from thin air or just go off of sources that some players might not necessarily agree with. Now, second up on the list, and this kind of is a bit of another stretch, not a stretch, but this is an aircraft that's actually already confirmed to be coming this year, the F-16XL. The F-16XL was an aircraft that was born in the program that the United States Air Force had to get a new close air support, or not close air support, but frontline bomber, sort of. This is the program that developed into the F-15E Strike Eagle. The F-16XL was not chosen for the program, but is an aircraft that we actually already know is confirmed to come this year. The F-16XL would basically be a Delta design of an F-16, would have access to AIM-120s if Gaijin does give it to them. It never carried them in real life, but it did have mock-ups that you can clearly see their AIM-120s being held in weapon bays, like what the F-4 Phantom has, so it should be able to carry, I believe, either 4 or 8 of the AIM-120s, and then they could give it AIM-9Ls if they really wanted to, and then carry up to 6 Mavericks, carry several different bomb types. It's basically just a upgraded strike version of what an F-16A ADF would be, pretty much, and it's a plane that players have talked about coming for a very long time. I would imagine it arrive alongside something like the Su-47 Beck for the USSR, and it's an aircraft that it's, again, not one that'd be too hard for them to model. It's basically just an F-16, which we have, I believe, like almost 20 of them now in game, with a Delta design. They would have to figure out what sort of flight model they wanted to give it, if they want to make it, I know I've seen a lot of people talk about how it bled speed or how it was able to rate. So it really would just come down to how Gaijin and what sources they used for it. Third, but not last, the B1B Lancer. The B1B Lancer is the aircraft that can carry the heaviest bomb payload for the United States Air Force. Popular belief is that the B-52 can do that. That is not true. Internally, the B-52 does not carry as much as the B1B Lancer. The B1B Lancer actually carries significantly more than the B-52. The B-52, however, has several hard points along the wings, which allows it to carry things like Tomahawks and other munitions that does, eventually lead to carrying more than the B-1. Now, the reason the B-1 is on this list and not the B-52 is the B-1 has something the B-52 does not have. And in terms of War Thunder, if they don't want to give an actual game mode for bombers, the B-1 at least has speed. The B-52 does not. The B1 Lancer should be able to bomb at near Mach speeds, and they put this at a low enough BR, it should be able to perform just fine. Now, obviously, they do need to decide what sort of missiles and munitions they want to give the aircraft, if they want to give it advanced air-to-ground munitions, if they want to give it unguided only, and BRs, and that's just kind of where bombers kind of fall into this. Where would it go? What BR would it sit at? You know, what rank would it sit at? What would its top speed fully be? Because Gaijin has modeled where munition release points are significantly lower than what they should be, so it would just depend if they want to actually allow it to bomb at above Mach, or if they would make it where its munitions had to release at a slower speed. And then it's kind of like, well, do you put the B1 at like 9.7? Do you put it at 10.3? What BR do you put it at ground or B if you give it access to more upgraded munitions? So it just kind of depends on what they're feeling like, and this feels, again, kind of like more of a stretch, but if they were going to add bombers, this would be the first bomber that they would do it, in my opinion, just because it has, you know, like the F-111, or the F-111 had top speed. The B-66 is another great point of this. It also has a good speed, good high speed. I believe that's why they added it instead of something like the B-47. The B-66 had a good top speed. Same would go for not adding the B-52 and adding the B-1, unless they add a bomber game mode, then they probably would, go for the B-52 before the B-1. Anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts on this list. Let me know what other aircraft you guys think I should make a video on about. I do plan on doing more videos like this, maybe another one for like Russian aircraft or French aircraft or just kind of whatever. And let me know what your thoughts are. I always like trying out new video ideas, so I appreciate it when I get these suggestions down below or in the Discord. If you guys are not subscribed, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.